Our top story coming in at 4 p.m. is about that massive cash haul, unaccounted cash that was recovered from a sitting judge's house. And contradictory statements that have been coming on this. But now that there is a three-judge panel, three-member High Court judge panel appointed by the Supreme Court Collegium will now be investigating this. A fire that happened on 14th March night has led to a massive debate, not just within the judiciary, but remember across the country. We have a big scoop on the probe right now. 5 Delhi cops are under the radar. They've been asked to submit their mobile phones as well, because as the first responders from the fire staff, from the Delhi police, what was their role? How did they go ahead to ensure that the area, the site, was seized, barricaded at that point? Justice Varma also will be questioned by the panel, but also his personal secretary who was present in the house, because allegedly, according to our sources, this personal secretary asked the cops, the team of cops who had come, to go back while there is a blaze in the house and return the next day. Why was that asked to the police that had come? The Bar Association, meanwhile, in Allahabad, are waging a war against Justice Varma. They are demanding that the order to simply transfer him to Allahabad High Court from Delhi needs to be revoked. The bar body members are demanding action even under criminal law against the tainted judge. Remember, right now, these are charges, these are allegations, investigation is on. The judge has completely denied all the charges against him, but it has raised a certain question mark on the credibility. Government sources telling India Today that for now, the government will not have a say on this issue. They'll wait for the Supreme Court to decide.
The reports about alleged aberrations in the judiciary have disturbed the conscience of all right-thinking citizens across the country. This House, Parliament, is charged with the responsibility of exercising superintendence over the judiciary. It is charged with the responsibility of exercising oversight over the judiciary. The Chief Justice of India has appointed an in-house inquiry. I think we should respect the process. We should wait for that report. But in the meanwhile, the Law Minister should come to this House, and the Law Minister must relate the chronology of events as they have transpired. What actually transpired? What does the government know? Why is the government not making a statement before this?
The factum of recovery money from the High Court judge is really eroding the confidence on judiciary. Sir, judges are also public servants like us. Transferring a judge, here a charge has been transferred from this judge, transferred from Delhi High Court to Allahabad High Court. This will not resolve the problem. Any High Court, I share the sentiment of the lawyers of the Delhi High Court, Allahabad High Court. These High Courts, Allahabad High Court, Calcutta High Court, like these courts cannot be the dumping ground, my lord, sir.
So my colleagues joining me right now for the update on this, India Today's legal editor Nalini Sharma, also Ashutosh Mishra is on the ground to tell us more about it. I want to first bring you in, Nalini, because the legality issue of it will be very crucial. He's after all a sitting judge. There will be a lot of questions of how much questioning can be done to a judge, how will that go ahead. So tell us more about one, that Justice Varma will be grilled, and what are the layers to this investigation now?
Well, Pooja, interestingly enough, while the inquiry is going on and Justice Varma is being questioned, on both sides of the table are going to be sitting High Court judges. It's going to be 3 sitting High Court judges who are going to be posing the questions to Justice Varma. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch out for. But at the same time, we are given to understand that very soon Justice Varma can be called in for questioning and appearing before the inquiry panel to answer questions not only with regard to what happened on the night of March 14th, but also pinpointed questions regarding the recovery of this money, alleged recovery of money at least, that was made from his house. And for this purpose, Justice Varma, we are now given to understand, is also seeking legal advice to ensure what is the best defense that he can put forward when he is called in by the inquiry committee. For this, he is also consulting lawyers. At least 2 senior advocates and 2 advocates had visited Justice Varma's residence last night. And we are given to understand from our sources is that this visit was done to ensure that he can prep for his appearance before the inquiry committee, and the lawyers can help him prep for the kind of answers that he is supposed to give during this time. Remember, a prima facie defense was already put forth by Justice Varma before the Delhi High Court Chief Justice, which was the details of which were also shared in the report that is put out by the Chief Justice of India and the Supreme Court. And in that, Justice Varma had categorically said that there was no money that he was aware of, and that he wasn't even informed by his staff or his family members that any such money was found in his house. But at the same time, that report also spoke about how Justice Varma's personal secretary, in fact, on the 14th of March, on the night of the 14th of March, had sent away the police officials that had come to his residence and asked them to come back the next day. The reason why this is important, Pooja, is because it is between this time. It is on the early morning of the 15th that it is said that there was some debris, and the burnt debris from inside the outhouse that was actually removed because there were no orders at that time to preserve that particular scene. So that is essentially why sources are suggesting that the area was compromised and that it was a major lapse on part of the Delhi police to not secure that scene where the fire had
also
occurred.
in many ways, remember, it's after all a sitting judge's house. The staff members are aware of the kind of immunity possibly that even a judge or his residents would have, and the cops were asked to oblige. Stay on with me, Nalini. Ashutosh Mishra also joins me. Ashutosh, but cops are also under the radar. What our sources are telling us, that they were the first responders. But why do you think that is? Why would a team of cops or fire staff would also be questioned in this case?
So before responding to your question, Pooja, this is exactly where the questioning is being taking place. Three judges, the probe panel formed by the Supreme Court is now questioning as we speak the Delhi Fire Chief Atul Garg, who's being questioned at the moment. Haryana Guest House looks like going to be the official, the center of the investigation where the three judges will be carrying out investigation. Even Justice Yashwant Varma will be appearing at this before the panel. Now, as we know that since the sources suggest that the police personnel have been asked to submit their phone to the senior police officials, including the SHO, to constable, who were the first to respond to the fire call when they reach along with the fire brigade officials. Now that, looking at the evidence and this kind of charges that is that has come and that has suffered because of the recovery, who were these officials first to inform, where all the calls were made, whether there was some attempts being made either of side to totally navigate the charges or dilute the kind of the situation it was probably, there was some attempt of cover-up were also done, and that's exactly why these could be the primary in terms of evidence and in terms of also question takes place when you prepare a charge and when you prepare a report, because remember only this report will be a substantial one to decide by the Supreme Court whether the further criminal investigation is required as far as recovery of the stash of the burned currency notes were found at Justice Varma's residence. So that's exactly why it is very critical. So first protected the evidence side. The first respondent who were including the fire department, the police official, their phones have been seized, and even as we know that Justice Varma has also been asked not to delete any of the data from his phone, because this is going to be technically very crucial evidence.
And also
but what we
importantly,
know that
yes, remember the contradictory statements that came in before the video on your screen emerged. You can see what appears to be a fire staff member from the department clearing out bundles of cash. And these are, remember, half burned. So one doesn't even know the amount of cash that was recovered. So there will be a lot of questions that will be asked to everyone who was possibly present at the scene and what exactly led. And important, of course, the most statement would be of Justice Varma himself. Thank you very much, Nalini and Ashutosh, for the latest on that.